Hello, morning. This is XE1. XE means ex-con, con X, ex-judge, judge X, ex-lawyer, lawyer X, ex-person of the court system, person of the court system X. It's going to be a understanding of, from my perspective, a little bit of both. My brother's a lawyer. I'm also not an ex-convict, but well, actually I'm ex-con. Not a felon, but I'm working on it. What I put together was doing a little bit of time. I decided to put together something that would make it so that we can try to bridge the gap between people serving time and simply just serving time. I mean, when you go through the process, you have everything taken away from you, your rights, your respect, everything's taken. If you have any money, like let's say you just got a paycheck, you get pulled over, you have $1,000 in your wallet. The state that I'm presently in is Utah. They have a program where they'll charge $45 a day, and it's a right to live fee. If you were in jail for 6 months, the $2,000 paycheck you just got is now gone because they take $45 out of the money that you were checked in with. If you're an illegal immigrant and you don't have a bank account, they've now just taken your life savings, and before you even get out to go back to now becoming a criminal by force because they've stolen all your money. This is our judicial system that's doing this. You are pretty much not only lost, you're clueless and penniless, and they either ship you back to your country to do it all over again, or you being a citizen of this great country, you get out and you have no money, and then they turn it over to a collection agency and make it even better. So what I'm trying to propose is something so that in that time, we can not only educate our prisoners, but we can start to change some of the policies that are extremely flawed. What I'd like to do is have a ex-con, con X, or an EXXE #1 newsletter that's free on the inside, 50 cents to convicts on the outside, or $1 to non-convicts. That's going to be offered to people to not only understand the conviction process, but have some satirical humor or projects that people can work on, being very intelligent and also not the brightest, being arrested on the inside and the outside. So it could just be a newsletter and open forum for people to pass the time so we can understand both sides. The chat room, which will obviously be available limitedly on the inside and on the outside, more free access. But the chat room on the inside is going to be more something geared toward like the University of Phoenix or higher education universal programs. So the people that are 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graduates, you get their GED or want to go on to get their bachelor's degree or want to go on to better their lives, to learn factory mechanics or machinery in order to have something to come out to as working in a stable field, which the world is always changing, but it will give people the opportunity to actually platform themselves to have something to look forward to. Resumes, we can do resume boilers on both sides, not only for the people on the inside, but the families of the people that are stuck on the inside. We can help them, which a lot of, I'm sure, non-profit organizations already exist in, but I kind of want to broaden the scope to having common success stories via website, via video, people that have been in that can give fair warning as to what to expect from certain penitentiaries or what to expect just in society as a whole. It's coming back from the original video that you saw. It's going to be a multitasking platform that the people who are going to school me, I might attempt to school some, but I have no desire nor need nor any relations nor correlations to any inner nor outer city gangs. I don't care about what's going on in the streets. My reputation is pretty much nothing to me. I'm a grown man, and I think gangs are pretty pathetic, weak, and M13 is a bunch of ass clowns that our government, the CIA, can simply step out. But they have more money in M13 than what they want to admit. And though I use vulgarity, I appreciate your patience. I'm just going to go ahead and reflect on some of the things I read, wrote, and try to give you a broader idea as to what I'm hoping to put together with you. Either you're a con, a hacker, or a convict, or you're somebody that just has a little bit of time, can see a broader concept of what I'm trying to do and what we can do, and we can get on the same page and the same motion to put this together. So I'll just go ahead and start. All real as you're grown. No crime has a higher punishment or sentence than the crime of murder. Legionnaire law rules. Study Australian rule and the prison state camp after the British rule. Legionnaire council. Study tribal council. A council of 13 to 12 tribal leaders. Legionnaire, legion peers, and one head of the state, king, queen, president, chief. Chief 1 takes ruling of the consideration but has final say. Can split council issue by 3, 4 by 4 by 4 to 12, and divide a sister issue faced with a large mass issue at hand. Tribes are split by the same. Lower court aid example, split 4 high tribes with a tribe of 13. Lower court with 4 because 17 is top. 4 pick 8 and then 1 is voted by the 4. Who step down the council, so 13 rules stand. Almost like the Supreme Court. Rulings, murders, max time life. Life as legionnaire, life as a legionnaire, or life is taken for life sacrifices, life of a legionnaire for life of a new heir. Legion does from military training in front line. Roman laws, 1 life sentence equals 15 years to 30 years of infantry. Successful service. Upon successful service, the legionnaires were murdered, forgiven, and considered member of society again. Able to vote, regains Roman-American relationship, wage and fee for time of legion given. Mark of a legionnaire, question mark. Not sure if people should have a mark for if they did their time. Legions serve on different continents. Never does legionnaire return to his home of his crime. If forgiven and served 15 to 20 years, legionnaire off a new home, a new world, different country, city, state, etc. If legion returns home, legion marked and tracked with our ID chips around home state or wherever they decide to stay. If decides to live in a new world, a new life, no marking, no tracking. RFID chips on their skin like 007 Casino Royale. Mark visibly, make a brand on the face or arm of both. Legionnaire council is formed by judges of the state. Put over time, native legionnaires who know lead obey legion law, rule, then commandments, tribal, city, state, country and order, law, rule, country and order, study military, crime, laws of extradition, soldiery, are part of the Constitution of the United States. Yet you have no constitutional rights. That's our present day military. You defend the Constitution, and you have no constitutional leeway of rights. You're under the United States Military Code of Justice. Legionnaire laws and lower courts say off countries and television stations to shame people for offenses like Japan does. If you spit on the sidewalk or spit in Japan, they have a television station strictly dedicated to mocking people. Crime, punishment, forgiveness for the service of community. Italy does this. They have convicted felons walking around as tour guides. If you're, I believe, 16 to 19 or maybe a little bit older in Italy, you either have an option once you turn 18 or 19 to serve in the military or to serve as a servant to the community through restitution. 125-year in the future program. Study New Deal, Depression, Great Depression, 1920s, 1940s, United States of America. Prisoner work camps, study Texas pink inmate camps, or hot pink and chain gangs. Infrastructure, United States, rebuild, add rubber, 60 Minutes did an article on this. If you add rubber to the roads, it makes it so the roads last years, if not decades longer. To rebuild roads, repave, and rebuild all roads. Single line rail system for the train stations, stock bullet trains, Japan, China, etc. Intercity, City Olympic Games, timetable, funding, national globe. Rebuild all central hubs, study electronic grid, coaxial cable, fiber optic cables from San Francisco to New York. Spanning lightning fast, study Japan, Middle East, India, brownout, blackout, study Forbes, Fortune 500 has had a few articles on it. How to deal with the infrastructure and the growth of a country that is hard to adapt to growth. Legionnaire citizens, all camps set up to work on these chain gangs, similar to the 60s, but they have RPG ships in them, and they go and they are oriented to pretty much rebuild the walls, the cities, the Mexico wall, the Canadian wall. If you're going to build one wall, why not build two? We have just as much legal immigration problem with Canada as we do Mexico. Prisoner, legionnaire, forgiveness, and prison, legionnaire, foreign and domestic exchange to make for a global program to rebuild and forgive all crimes as high as murder. Legionnaire, 3-time rule of murder, punishment, and a fast and final order of death, final order, steady state country execution time, and public execution. That's kind of a big question mark. Legionnaires call 125-year plan. Some cities have not all lighting cities greenhouse planning program, making our solar panel lighting have cities 100% electric grid. Power depot collections that lead to correctional collection units, study light rails, Salt Lake City and other bigger cities, how you do light rail, light grids, San Francisco, I'm sure. Study brown light and red light blinking fans, Germany, Idaho Falls, solar wind power program, allow upgrades and put in for 2-part cities and all grids, 1 part depending on electricity still present. Day grid design all cities built around an upgrade to present day. 2nd part, all cities have upgraded energy solar panels and reserved to solar panel home systems. So it'd be a 3-part system. What you do is you have a city that's on a present grid, which is AC, DC. Then you have a solar power grid, and then you have something like a Tesla grid, where it'd be a power, where you have 3 options to fall back on, not just an emergency broadcast system or limited, but it'd be multiple, and I'm sure in some places it's already available, but it's part of the broader plan. In regard to prison, prison tattoo, scar, and removal plan. Have plastic surgeons go in and be willing to remove scars, things that are markings of gangs, burns, things like that, or just birthmarks, so that people can come out feeling new. Also offer any prison inmate that wants to have his tattoos or his ink removed so that you can change how he appears and come out better. Inmates who both remove their scars and inmates a new life, new relapse. Virtual reality, interactive cells, education time, education program, worst case inmate gets lesser time. Decided by 12 to 13 council reform educated people, much kind of a demolition man. Training factor, assembly line work, explain how to break down a line, look at log out, tag out, how to assemble, and you could use broader, bigger companies, Lockheed Martin, bigger factory chains, I guess you say, Heinz, DuPont, people that needed to disassemble large assembly lines to manufacture food, manufacture parts, to in-process, out-process livestock. Have it be where they can learn these assembly codes, disassembly, reassembly, and in prison, and have a pre-knowledge of how to do this work and then have a job waiting for them when they get out, and have it be progressive so that they can work within and up through the job and the work itself. Work through these programs, complete training to do study on assembly line, on off-site transportation, housing to and from jail, prison, on the plant, workers taking, task-oriented. Barton as an example, they're one of the highest trained security forces in the world. You have to study about half hour to hour every shift, 8-hour shifts. You're looking at trying to cover at least 2 to 3 projects. That's why they're pretty much number 1 in at least the United States as far as security systems or security personnel. Required daily training, workers assembly test objects, safe hands-on projects to make inmates familiar with assembly line work. Virtual reality cells, get gesture wall and gesture interaction, touch wall platforms, interactive testing, and one-on-one counseling from training centers like Edward Snowden, artificial intelligence, multiple counseling sessions, real-time person-to-person counseling, group meetings, understanding, reading interactions, tools to understand, work, addiction, timetables, time clocks, worker interactions, and how to schedule time. Big pharmacy, representative program in place for addiction recovery, replacement, drug, and incorporated drugs for pharmaceutical prescription meddling. Pretty much every drug that we can ever think of, maybe that's legal or illegal, they can make a synthetic version in a small pill. Big pharmacies not only capable of that, they do that all the time so that we can pretty much take it out of our hands. They did it with heroin, failed for the most part in the 60s. The drug that they replaced, it did get people out, but it had a lot of adverse side effects. Smarter people than me know the rest of that one. Have an Ask a Con program, newsletter, website, chat room, and resumes. All of this is a lot of people on the newsletter, people bringing the outside to use, opportunity to ask them for certain questions. So let's say you're a professional plumber, a professional lawyer, something professional on the outside and you're on the inside and somebody has a question, they can make a newsletter or it's an open forum relating to whatever career that person was, a professional in man or woman, and they can do Q&As back and forth. Kind of like pen pals, but on a broader scope because it's in a newsletter and people really want to know from other people's perspectives how to manage that. Newsletter, news forum and chats on how to link up with families on the outside, with people on the inside, for professionals, make drawings, etc. How to use lives of professional that I learned from there. Example, plumber artist facing life in prison, has a wife, a daughter, has a jail given to him. Arrested artist fellow is an inmate who is learning and sketching out with a plumber and tips that make it a unit. How to be a plumber, like dummies, those books for dummies, but from the con relays open forum page, and the con allows us so that you can make this open forum and then the next generation, whatever, build. So the wife can actually get some money on the outside, the convict on the inside can get some money on the books. They interact back and forth, they get paid a certain amount of money for the insert, and there's a program so that the wife and the children on the outside can actually get a little bit of money for the knowledge and wisdom that the convict on the inside has. Call a con, chat with a con, learn from a con, ability of a person to dial into a third-party number on a call center with a question A to Z, mechanical, artificial intelligence question, lawyer, marketing, doctors, law, call center, taking notes and questions, verify your resumes, a con answering questions professionally. Call center loops to available on-call con for advice and stays online with phone call. So you have a third-party person kind of sitting at the call center to ensure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. If both parties agree, call center posts information given on website. Google search allows con question answers and conversations come up in the chat center on a questionable search. Example, I'm thinking of investing in a 401k, make 45k a year, and you can save 10k to 50k a year. What is your advice? Answer, post answering conversation. Google search invest on, ask a con, and conversation comes up with 401k advice from somebody doing time for being smart in the system. Ask a con newsletter, task oriented how cons and families can work together to make money. If a con expecting to build has no family, has no one outside, con can aid in writing and making money on his books, and advanced answers for the askacon.com. Video chat from a con advice. There's how to deal with jail, prison, tricks, tips, the reality of the system, con helping con employment centers, con success stories, con free from the inside, inspirational advice, and feature Bible quotes help make it through. Newsletter, free on the inside, con costs 50 cents on the outside, $1 for non-con. Support return, get local barbecue runs, and getting reaccustomed to the real world. So it's pretty much just a broader forum of convicts and how you can better adapt to adjusting from the hardships of being a convicted convict to the reality of the world. It's going to be set up similar to what I set up previously on the intro. If you only watch this video, I'll give you a quick rundown. It's going to be in black marker and blue fitting. So let's say we're convicts. We have 2 points, and there's a 32, which is the king. 32 is the king. That's the house. Let's say that's the warden. And the 32 is the hall. And we're moving from place to place. We have family on the outside. We want to be able to relate and get out our message in order to better not only know and understand, but be able to communicate. What we need to do is figure out from the 16 to the 8 to the 4 to the 2, which is the pawn, which is the 4s, and you'll have to look back on the other one. I'm not going to go all the way through it. It's going to be a pyramid, and what we're going to do is make it so that the harder they push us down, the further we go up. So what we're going to do is a diamond, and the diamond is going to come back up. Diamond is also a symbol that looks a lot like this. So that looks like the Star of David, or what do you want to call it, 6-point star. If they were to start to pull, and by what I mean pull, is put you into circumstances and situations where you had no communication with your family, there was a necessity that you communicate with them. How about we design and develop a program with a cell phone company carrier where you can call on your phone, artificial intelligence picks it up, you do a prepay, let's say $1.99 to $3.99. It allows you from the inside, because that's an issue when you're inside and you don't know, it's not in the phone book, you don't know your friends' phone numbers, you don't know anyone's phone numbers. You call into a call center, they can send out text to the people on your call list, all your contacts. You do a prepaid $3.99 a month to have the service. They'll pick up the tab for the collect call from the gel, and they'll be able to relay whatever text you want to send, how many people you want to send, and it makes it so that you can get the word out that you're in jail and potentially get bailed out. How it reflects back to this is when you get bailed out, you pay, it's always about money, but what's going to happen is we're going to start seeing that they're going to have to change the system, because instead of it being a private organized pay-as-you-go, it's going to start to become something where they're going to have to attest to what they're doing to people, not only on the inside, but how they're gaining their money. We could start to make a program where we could follow the money from these higher politicians or these higher people that are putting together these multi-trillion-dollar self-sufficient hospitals, prisons, and treating the people pretty much like be animals, in my opinion. Some of the things they've done to people in these prisons as of recently, as of the past 12,000 years, it's terrifying. But what we want to do is figure out where we're going and how it all factors in, so we have everything at 90. There's always going to be a 90-degree angle, there's always going to be another avenue. There'll always be somebody soft-hearted like me trying to say, we can change it. But what I'm really getting at is the bigger picture, which is as it progresses, as it moves forward, as we start to see society going to this restructure of there's so much money in putting people in prison, and people that shouldn't be in prison, that are presently in prison, I can know and attest to, society's going to wake up as a whole. And we're going to start to realize there has to be change. It shouldn't be a for money and for profit system. People, judges, politicians should not be able to vote in or vote out or wrongfully arrest or accuse or hold people in prisons for weeks, months, if not years. Right to a speedy trial still stands. Constitution still stands amended as the highest document of peace on our land. What other countries do, we can use as a test subject, or we can use as we aren't going to do that whatsoever. We'll start to see the broader picture that when you follow the money, it always goes 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. It's always 45s. It's always this belt loop right corner, look right, do left. Watch the crowd over here, but do this behind closed doors and behind people's backs. And in regard to convictions, cons, I've had a few run-ins with the law. I've known people that have over hundreds of felony convictions, and I've known people that have had absolutely nothing on their record and have been wrongfully arrested and accused. So I know both sides. I also know people that are judges. I've also worked with and served with people that are of great high authority who've never had any runs in the law and probably never will in the rest of their life. And I think the system is flawed. I think we need to address and stop before it gets too late the prison for currency program. Presently, I'm in Utah. As I said, there's a $45 a day exchange for prisoners, and that which they charge prisoners to be inmated. If they transfer them from Salt Lake City, Utah to Logan, Cache County, they charge $100 a day. That's on the taxpayers' money. So they're making hands over fist money. I thought we paid property taxes and taxes on currencies and goods in order to pay for the police officers so they wouldn't have to rob, steal, and become the thieves they're supposed to be arresting. I want to leave on a high note to say that I used to be in the military, used to be a police officer to a certain degree myself, security, and I don't really despise nor hate, and I actually support the police. I think they're good in our community and that's a necessity, especially with the criminals that have been coming and going, and some of the criminals I met. There are people as painful as this is to say, that do belong in jail. So with that in mind, I'm going to leave on a high note and say my name is Drew Bailey. My Facebook account is Drew Bailey. You can email me, text me. My email address is drewbailey9996@gmail.com. I also got another one, bell.drew@isu.edu. Shoot me an email. Well, let me know what you think. I want to keep posting these videos for a while. Hope you can join me as we start to put this together, and I look forward to speaking to you. Thank you. Have a good day. Free from the inside. Never give up hope. There's always God. There's always prayer, and there's always something better. I hope you're out soon, or I hope that you're going in, you know who to talk to get through it right. Have a good night.